What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Hey, real quick, to all my returning viewers and subscribers, I want to thank you for your continued support. And to all my brand new viewers and subscribers, welcome to the neighborhood. Guys, so chili month is in full swing. We're running out of runway. This is week 4 of chili month, and today, as promised, I'm going to show you my white chicken chili. What makes a white chicken chili? Well, clearly, the chicken part. And the white part is just referring to a different style of bean, and we use cream cheese in it. So lately, this month, I've been doing a lot of heat and sweet. So today's has a little bit of heat alongside a creamy texture, which is also very complimentary. It's awesome. You don't have to try this exact recipe. Take these ideas and run with it on your own. It's more important to me that you try something similar than try nothing at all. So, with that being said, from the YouTube channel it says, try this at home. Well, come on. Let's try some white chicken chili. Let's get cooking. All right, real quick, I want to take a minute to talk to you kind of one-on-one before the voiceover about the ingredients for this chili. There are plenty of alternatives. If you don't like any of these things, you can still make this very successfully with alternatives or substitutes, and I just want to take a minute to talk to you about that. So the chicken I'm using is this bone-in, skin-on, fresh split chicken breasts. Use whatever chicken you want. I don't want the skin. We're gonna take that off. Usually I can find bone-in, skinless, but I couldn't today. This is about 5 1/4 pounds of chicken breast. We don't need all of that. You need about 1.5 to 2 pounds. So we're gonna use probably about 1 of these. We're going to cook it in the chili, and then at the end, take it out, shred it, remove the bone. It'll be great. That's added flavor. Alternatively, get a rotisserie chicken and pull it. Canned chicken pulls apart very easily. Or if you need, here's a link on how to make shredded chicken in the Instant Pot. So there's that. We will need chicken broth. I always opt for the less sodium option if it is available, because you can always add more salt. You can't take it away once you got too much in there. That's not great. We got an 8-ounce pack of cream cheese. If you're looking for a lower calorie, lower fat option, feel free to use Newfactual cheese. It's quite literally the same thing. The beans we're using, I've got 2 15-ounce cans of cannellini beans. That's what makes it a white chili. It's the white bean and the white cheese and the fact that it's chicken. Also, we're going to add a 7-ounce can of diced green chilies. That's just for convenience. I love it. And the other peppers we're going to use, I picked these 2 serranos out of my garden. They're just now turning red, and they're a little smaller, so just kind of judge your favorite heat level. You don't need 2. Usually they'd be a little bigger than this, but it's the end of the season. I'm doing the best with what I got. These are hotter than a jalapeno, so if you're sensitive to heat, try dialing it down to a jalapeno. If you really like heat, go ahead and crank it up to whatever your favorite pepper is. So these are gonna get diced and seeded. You're gonna want your favorite yellow, white, sweet, onion, red if you want. It doesn't bother me. I'm gonna try to keep to the tradition of the white chili with a yellow onion. You need some cream. I'm using heavy whipping cream. Alternatively, use half and half or use milk. One of the things that's important to me for this recipe is the creaminess, so I'm sticking with that. Go ahead, use all these alternatives I'm giving you if you want. So for our garlic today, every chili has garlic in it. It just has to. We're gonna use garlic paste. That kind of goes over here in our seasonings. Instead of oil, I'm using butter today for the same reason that I use the heavy whipping cream. It's really hard to coax the creaminess out of olive oil. So we're gonna soften our onions in butter instead of olive oil. And as far as our seasonings go, obviously, salt and pepper to taste. This is my 2-to-1. This recipe gets some oregano, some chili powder, some smoked paprika, some cumin, and ground mustard. And that is what makes this recipe way good. So I think I got everything out. I think I gave you plenty of alternatives and substitutes. I hope you guys customize this on your own or follow along just as is. Hey, let's get to it. Let's make some white chicken chili. Cool. I'm down for that. All right, so let's start out here by turning the lights on and getting our pot heated up to medium heat. I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons of butter, that is unsalted butter. And we're just gonna get it nice and melted on the bottom. Stir it all around. Coat all the surfaces just to kind of create a nice non-stick environment. Put in the medium yellow onion and 4 clove sizes of squeezed garlic. About a teaspoon of salt and pepper. Mix it all around. And that salt and pepper was just to kind of give my onions a little bit of a head start. So just keep mixing it around. Once they're softened, I'm going to add in my diced serrano peppers. Those are seeded, by the way. And we're going to mix it all around some more. Meanwhile, I'm going to get my chicken broth ready. And for the record, 4 cups is 1 quart. So I used that entire bottle or box or whatever. There's a 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream, the 8-ounce block of cream cheese. All the seasonings, go to the description below for more on that. Not going to try to rehearse it. And then we're going to crank it to high heat and put a lid on it to get our cheese all nice and melty. So every once in a while, I just keep coming back to it, and with my little spatula thing, mix it around. Once the cheese begins to melt, put in the diced green chilies, the beans, drained and rinsed. I'm going to put in this 10-ounce package of sweet frozen corn. That is more for texture than flavor, but it is super sweet, so that works. And then I just keep coming back and checking to see where I'm at with my cheese getting melted. We're not quite there yet, so I put the lid on and gave it a few more minutes. And once it's at least melted enough, like, you can kind of see some chunks there still. Making a mess again. I see how you work. So, you can see the chunks have got pretty small here. Go ahead, at this point, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and this is going to work as my thickening agent. Just any clumps you got from adding it while it was hot, just try to beat that out on the side of the pot, and then if you get frustrated, go ahead and switch to a fork or a whisk. Like that. Yep. And then you're gonna decrease to low heat, put in your chicken breast, make sure it's properly covered. If it doesn't get fully covered, you want to add a little more chicken broth or water. And I'm gonna let this cook for about an hour before I shred my chicken. Yeah. And then just with 2 forks or whatever your favorite tools are for this, you want to separate the meat from the bone, being careful not to get any chunks of bone in your recipe. That's not what you want to serve people or yourself. So once the meat is off of the bone, I'm going to switch to another fork, and I'm just going to use them to pull it apart, right like so. Get it as fine as you want. You get 1 shot to do this. Yep. In the beginning, I gave you some alternatives to this. If you do not want to cook your chicken from raw, go ahead and get a rotisserie chicken or canned chicken, or like I said, there is in the description below a link to one of my short videos on how to make shredded chicken with an Instant Pot. However you like is okay with me. So once you get your chicken shredded, go ahead and transfer it into your chili, leaving the bones. And then you're gonna go ahead and mix it all in. Just make sure it's all nice and evenly distributed. And then clean up your mess again. You're gonna come back every once in a while, just stirring it up. At this point, the chicken's already cooked. You're just getting all that flavor distributed well. I'm gonna grab my cutting board and an avocado. And this is what I'm gonna use for my garnishes. I'm going to cube some avocado, like you see. Since I'm just making dinner for myself here, I'm gonna go ahead and get just a little bit of cilantro. Don't be afraid of the stems, there's plenty of flavor in them. I'm just being a little more picky today than usual. Get a nice bowl. And it is time to serve myself up some supper. Who else is hungry watching this? Goodness. Put on my avocado. And I need a dollop of daisy. I'm going to put on my cilantro. And last but certainly not least, just for a little contrast in color and texture, some black pepper. All right, so we have made it. What do you think of this white chicken chili? Ooh, I'm going to try to not spill it in front of you guys. Don't mind the dog. So Andy was supposed to be here with me tonight to peer review this with me. You met Andy on the corn and beans episode. He is sick today. So real quick, if you don't mind, go ahead in the comment section below and just wish Andy a quick recovery. I'm gonna have a lot of leftovers. I'll save some for him. That's okay. So what I did for garnishes today was, as you saw, I cubed up some avocado and we cut up some cilantro. Other things you could do, a lime wedge goes really well with this. And then I just wanted a little dollop of daisy. There's plenty of dairy in here, so I didn't need a big one, but just kind of, you know, that's pretty. I like it. And let's see if we can get a little bit of everything here. I think I did a good job. Huh? What do you think about that? It's still kind of hot, but I'm hungry. Yep. That's where it's at. Look at how beautiful that is. I just made a mess. It's so good. It's creamy. It's got just the right amount of heat. The corn is less for flavor than it is texture. Having that little extra crunch is just, it's phenomenal. It's kind of like last week when I added celery into the vegetarian black bean chili. I didn't get any sour cream. Let's try and get a bite with sour cream in it. Yeah, you guys, you gotta try this. And it was my sincere goal at the beginning of the video to give you alternatives. One of the neat things about chili, and I hope you've realized this throughout the month, you don't have to follow a chili recipe directly. Make it your own. Everyone has their own chili. I just happen to have a bunch of chili recipes. The avocado is a big win on this. That chicken just falls apart. I don't know if you can see it. Look at that. We cooked it all in there. Having the bone-in cut was a huge advantage for flavor. I'm gonna get one more bite here. I want to make sure I get a cannellini bean. Oh yeah. You guys are gonna love this. Try this. Put all this stuff in your shopping list for next time. Chili month is slowly wrapping up. Winter's almost here. This is a great chili for winter. It's hearty, it's creamy. This is 100% a comfort food. Guys, I thank you so much for hanging out with me. Listen, next week we have the season finale of Chili Month 2023. I'm gonna show you how I make my favorite smoked rib meat chili. I hope you try this at home. Guys, I appreciate you guys so much. Hey, until next time, be well. I don't know if Andy's gonna get any leftovers. I'm gonna eat this whole pot tonight. You guys want some bonus footage today? Come here. Let me take you with me real quick. So next week is a smoked rib meat chili. I'm actually going to be at Cowan Lake State Park in the camper. And this is our smoked ribs. I know. It's not much to look out because they're wrapped. But they're about done. See where we're at here. I think there's a light. There we go. Yeah. We're about there. About 5 more degrees, and they're going to come off. And then they're going to get rested and pulled. So guys, thank you again. I'll see you next week for that smoked rib meat chili.